Okay, so I'm sitting in the car, change of scenery this time. Someone fell asleep on the way home, so I am going to do my little update from here. Now, I have been incredibly busy. I know, excuses, but this is going to be, I believe, my 27, 28, 29 week update. If not, it might just be my 28, 29 week update. I don't have my notes in front of me. I don't have my weight. I don't know how big the baby is this week or anything like that. This is ultimately kind of my 29 week update, but I will include some stuff from 28 weeks and even potentially 27 weeks if that was not covered, or I might just be repeating myself. And it's all from memory, so it might jump around a little bit. So again, I don't know what my weight is. I haven't a clue. I'm feeling bigger. I'll do a belly shot later on today and add that in at the end of the video. I don't know how big the baby is this week. I want to say it's in the neighborhood of 2.5, almost 3 pounds. We're almost down to single digit weeks, which is kind of scary in a way. It's coming really, really fast. So a little bit of updates. Nursing update. Kaylee is still nursing. As of this past week or past few days, I've developed quite a strong nursing aversion, and overall the pain of nursing is decreased and her latching on, but particularly last night, but even for the last few nights, I've been developing a little bit of a nursing aversion. So I'm just trying to work through that and let her nurse for as short as possible, but enough to get her needs met as well. Last night was rough. There was a really strong nursing aversion and she just wasn't falling asleep fast enough, so I had to keep unlatching her, which created her to wake up and cry and ask even more and kind of flail to give me a little bit of a break. For the most part, she's down to nursing twice a day. I generally try to avoid nursing her when she first wakes up in the morning. And then I nurse her just before nap, which didn't happen today because she fell asleep in the car on the way home, which was kind of a little bit of a plan too. And then I nurse her at bedtime. And if she happens to wake up in the middle of the night, I will nurse her again, but that is thankfully happening less and less. These days, she only wakes up maybe twice a week, and enough that I go in and then nurse her and come out. So, nursing twice a day, aversion, not as painful, or anything like that. In terms of my pubic symphysis pain, that is, as of 27-ish weeks, it was really bad. It was incredibly painful to do anything, and I found a YouTube video on some exercises to do with, in the video they talk about using one fist, and then using 2 fists, and then using the length of the arm from your palm to your elbow, but of someone else's fist and arm. And it talks about putting one fist between your knees and squeezing about 80% of your strength on that fist. So putting your fist between, sorry, the sun's also shining. Putting your fist between your knees, or putting a fist between your knees, so about that distance. Squeezing 80% of your strength, as long as it doesn't hurt or there's no discomfort. And then holding that for 30 seconds. And then moving up to, 2 fists. And doing the same thing, and then same thing with the forearm. Now, I don't usually have someone around when I'm doing that, so I have a couple of those rubber air-filled balls, the ones that bounce really well. I've got a few of those in different sizes, so I've used those. And I had immediate results, like within the next day. From using that, and I only used the 2 smaller ones. I didn't go up to the size of a forearm. I just used the one that is just a little ball like that, and I squeezed it and it compresses a little bit, which is nice. And then I used one that was a little bit bigger. It helped so much that I no longer wear my hip brace. I went bike riding last night, no problems. I can walk, I can sleep, and I actually haven't used those balls in quite a while now. So I try to preventatively use them. So if I do go for a walk, pushing a stroller and pushing a shopping cart are some of the worst things in terms of walking to create more discomfort. So when we've gone for a walk and she's in her stroller and I've been pushing her, when we get home, I spend a minute and I use those 2 balls and I just sit on the couch and squeeze, and I don't know if it resets it or what, but that seems to help. And then I don't need to do anything afterwards. We recently went camping, sleeping in a tent on an air mattress, no problems. In fact, I was more sore when we got home. Again, putting her down for naps and bed tend to be when I get the most pain in my pubic bone. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the position that I'm in when I'm side lying with her, but I had none of that when we were camping. Nothing. We went for walks, and I'm feeling large, so I waddle quite a bit, but no pain, which was really, really nice. And 28, 29 weeks, there's nothing. It's like it didn't even happen. So that is definitely something to try if you've got those kind of pains. Other than that, I don't really have much in terms of an update. I have a midwife appointment this afternoon. I'm going to ask a couple of questions. One, I'm going to ask about gestational diabetes test. So I declined it when they offered at my last appointment. And I know it's getting kind of late because I am almost 30 weeks. That it's getting kind of late that if I wanted to do it, if I wanted to do it, it's getting kind of late to do it. But I just want to make sure that declining it and not doing it does not preclude me from having a home birth, because where I live in BC, if you have gestational diabetes, you're not allowed to even attempt to have a home birth. There are too many potential complications with it, so they don't allow it. So I just want to make sure that if I decline it, it doesn't mean that I'm not allowed to have a home birth. And I've got one other thing, but it's a TMI, so I will cut to doing a belly shot. I can show you right now. That's what it looks like. But I'll do an actual belly shot. I don't know if it'll be in front of my white screen or not, but I'll do an actual front side belly shot and cut that in. No stretch marks or anything yet. Belly button sticks out when I'm standing, and if I'm laying on my back or something like that, belly button is still in. It's getting big. No heartburn. Lots of movement. The baby moves a lot, but it's smaller movements now instead of the really, like, where you can see a foot or a knee go across my stomach. They're smaller movements, but again, the baby's running out of room a little bit. Lots of hiccups. The hiccups actually are quite annoying, almost to the point of, I don't know, just giving me like restless legs where I can't sit still or anything like that. It's kind of weird. It's like a muscle twitch internally, but you can't do anything about it, which you can't for a muscle twitch anyways, but lots of hiccups. Pretty sure the baby's head down. I won't know until I go in today, but based on where the hiccups are happening, they are quite low on my stomach, so I'm pretty sure that the baby's head down, which is great. And yeah, so I will cut to the belly shot now, and then I will talk about TMI. I just don't want to wake her up. Okay, so cut. Okay, I'm gonna try and do this really quick before the toddler gets really upset because she doesn't want my phone up there. So this is belly shot for the 27, 28, 29 week. I am doing it a day later because things are just so busy. Okay, so here's straight on. Here's one from one side and from the other side. I had my first person say, "When are you due?" Just recently, so it is really starting to actually look like a pregnant belly. So they're straight on. There's from the one side. Kaylee, do you want to step to the side, please? You're covering Mommy's tummy. Do you want to come back here and do it? With Mama? Okay, there you go. Oh, and the dog's going to get in there too. And if the camera went down further, you'd see that the cat is down here too. It's a family affair, really. And there's from the other side. Belly button is definitely starting to stick out. My belly is just as hairy as ever. But yeah, that's all I've got. I will talk to you guys next week. Bye. Okay, so TMI, the only thing TMI that I really have, well, there's still a lot of discharge, which is kind of just pregnancy related. And it happens for me throughout the entire pregnancy. It doesn't go away, doesn't really lessen, doesn't get or increase or anything like that. It's just kind of a constant. Getting very swollen down there. I feel sometimes like if I squat to play with my daughter, it almost feels like I'm gonna prolapse out, like everything's just gonna fall out, like there's nothing holding anything in. I don't think that's really gonna happen. I'm gonna just mention it to the midwives, but it's just, I'm swollen and there's a lot of blood pressure down there and things are not as nice or pretty as they used to be, if you can say that they were pretty before. As for hemorrhoids, they're still there. I had the original 2 from pushing Kaylee out. They never went away, but they were never bothersome in the sense of pain or anything like that. They made it more difficult to clean after having a bowel movement, but that was about it. And I did end up with another one, and that one was larger, more painful, and irritated and things like that. And I did use the Earth Mama Angel Baby butter or bottom balm, I don't know what it's called off the top of my head, and I found that it soothed it, but it didn't get rid of it by any means. Out of breath, sorry. And then I was kind of worried about going camping and having to use porta potties, but outhouses, not having running water, things like that. And constipation is an issue that comes and goes with me with pregnancy. This pregnancy's been pretty good. I haven't really had much in terms of constipation, but I was worried about going camping. Diet's not as good because you tend to eat more convenience foods, and that it would become an issue. And thankfully it wasn't. In fact, the first night I wasn't feeling very good, so I needed to get up a couple of times to go to the bathroom, just because there was quite a sense of urgency, which rightfully so. And then I didn't have to go again for the rest of the trip because I cleaned myself out pretty good. And oddly enough, I don't know if the baby has shifted position and therefore is not putting as much pressure on some of my veins and arteries, but that one isn't bothering me anymore. I haven't used the Earth Mama Angel Baby stuff in probably a week now, but it's not bothering me. It's still there a little bit, but it's not bothering me. So I'm going to ask the midwives if that's a possibility of the baby shifting, and that's why it seems to have gone down. I'm also going to ask them about getting them removed after the baby's born, because I will likely end up with more, slash the ones that I have becoming bigger, because I'm going to be pushing a baby out and there'll be a lot of pressure down there. But I have a feeling they're just going to say wait it out, eat high fiber foods, lots of water, see where they're at a little while later after postpartum. We'll see. I don't know. But it is something that I'd like to get rid of after we have a second. I don't think we'll be having a third baby. We might, I don't know. But I don't anticipate it. So once this baby's born, I'd like to try and get my body a little more normal and get rid of the hemorrhoids. And again, I don't have the stretch marks that I'm trying to deal with, but get back down to my normal size and and all that, and I know it can be difficult. I'm gonna accept whatever happens. If I can't get back down to my normal size, then that's fine, or my pre-pregnancy weight, that's fine. I did this last time, but things change and I'm older now, and who knows, I'm gonna be a little bit busier, so I won't have time to work out and things like that because I will have 2 babies. So I will see how it goes. I will talk to you guys next week. I will hopefully get back in the groove of doing weekly videos. It's just been a little crazy with being sick and having an impromptu camping trip and things that just kind of kept falling behind, and I was just always really busy during her naps and was unable to record anything. I think she might be waking up. Maybe not. But I will talk to you guys later.